Hi guys, my name is Marshall,
And I'm Sangeeta.
and today we're going to be reviewing Mean Girls 2024.
May I have everyone's attention, please?
So I was a very big fan of the original. I can quote many of the lines.
She doesn't even go here.
So I was really intrigued and excited to watch the new one this year.
And this time, Mean Girls 2024 is a remake of the original, but this time it's going to be directed by Samantha Payne and Arturo Perez Jr. And with a little twist, it's a musical.
So I'm roughly the size of a barge.
Story-wise, it's pretty much the same as the original movie. There's a lot of similar lines, similar storyline.
I thought it was going to be like the next generation of that school, but they were actually exactly the same characters with the same names, but they were just there's different iterations of these characters.
And also, I found a lot of the story was condensed to make room for the musical numbers.
Yeah, and with those musical numbers, I thought they did really well with them. Like, I was watching it and I was like, I said to her, this looks like a music video for so many of them. And they really did go all out in terms of the production design of these music numbers. The singing was just, wow,
Yeah. I particularly really liked Renee Rapp. I mean, she's
as
just,
Regina.
as Regina,
Yeah.
but also for the singing, she's just an incredible singer. I first knew about her from The Sex Lives of College Girls, and she was a great actor. She's one of my favorite characters in that. And then to find out she also sings, and she's really a very talented singer.
She really stood out as Regina just because whenever she came on screen, she had a lot of presence.
Yeah.
And she wasn't the same version like Rachel McAdams was. She was different, but she did it well.
Yeah.
My name is Regina George.
I would say for me though, I did see the original, and I just remember that her and Regina, Karen, and Gretchen had a lot of good synergy between the characters, even though they were fighting at times. They were really, you can really tell that this was a group, and I didn't feel that as much for the new one with Karen and
Yeah.
Gretchen and Regina together.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a super connected group, and the parts where they did shine though was in their individual moments and their individual songs.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they have a lot of new songs where they just that was a good part.
Yeah.
The other character I liked was Janice. This time played by Ali, which was I just call her Moana because she's the voice for Moana. She was very different, but she was really it worked.
It was a different take, yeah, and then she had that song towards the end as well.
Yeah, we're not going to spoil it,
Yeah.
but she has her own song at the end, and I to me that was one of my favorite songs just because of the message of it. So yeah, what did you think of the main character who played Katie?
Yes, so Angourie Rice, fellow Australian.
Fellow Aussie. Yeah.
No, I thought she was it was a very different take on Katie compared to the original.
Yeah.
But it was very good in that version. And in particular, I really liked that they cast Jenna Fisher as her mum because I thought they look the same, they kind of act the same. So I thought that was really good casting.
Yeah. I thought she did well. For the character that she did well. But Lindsay Lohan is she's really iconic. But then I think also because they had so many musical numbers, that maybe the characters didn't really get a chance to shine as much in terms of the overall arc.
Yeah, they definitely shined in all of their songs. But yeah, I think having those numbers meant they had to condense the story and probably condense a lot of the character arcs as well.
And also, speaking of mums from before, Busy Phillips,
Yeah.
Freaks and Geeks, if you guys have seen it, I was like, man, that's so great. They got her in it, and she was great in it as the mum, Regina's
And she
mum.
was cast really well as the mum of Renee Rapp as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last for me, the love interest of Katie, which his character's name's Aaron, and I don't remember who he's played by. Was it Will? Sorry, I don't remember. But the character who played Aaron, I felt like there wasn't much to his arc in terms of, a character. And yeah, with that, I just would have liked to see a different version of him, because I know the characters, some of them all had completely different versions of them, but they worked. And for me, I still would have liked to see more like an ethnic
Yeah.
lead.
I think that would have been.
I think that would have been
cool.
great. Like, that would have been so
Yeah.
cool.
And I'm
for
sure
me.
there was an actor out there who could have done something really cool with it as
Yeah.
well. Because the character didn't really.
It didn't
stand
land as
out
much.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
did it for Damien, and Damien was really like, he was the
Yeah.
same Damien, but he was different, and
Yeah.
it worked. What I actually liked was the fact that this time it was more ethnically diverse. Like, they changed some of the characters' ethnicities, but it wasn't in a way that was like a woke agenda type of
No.
ticking a box way.
Yeah, it was very natural. Like, they were just people, and that's just the world, and that is just the world. So, yeah, that was cool to see.
Yeah. Overall, it was a highly enjoyable movie. Like, there wasn't a moment where I thought, oh, it's so boring, or like, this is kind of crap. And that's a good thing, considering I don't really think too many movies hit the mark nowadays, especially for remakes. And I feel like this one, going into it, I was like, oh man, they remake everything nowadays. Maybe it's not going to be good. I don't know. But I left the cinema being like, you know what? That was really decent.
Yeah. I think obviously, like, I'm a big fan of the original, but I think for the remake that it was, and that they changed it being a musical modeled off the Broadway musical, um, it had a very different take to it, and also how they modernized it for
Yeah.
today's generation with social
With
media
the
and stuff.
phones and the
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but it was highly entertaining, and like, I wouldn't really compare. I wouldn't say you can compare both the movies in that way, like, oh, what's better?
Yeah.
Because they were both quite different in their own ways. And
Yeah.
it was really good. Yeah,
Would you say if you were a fan of the original Mean Girls, you'd like this one?
I think you would, because a lot of the lines and stuff, it's like nostalgia. Like, when we were watching in the cinema, I knew what lines were coming, and I
Yeah,
was
they
like,
had some
"Ah."
pretty yeah.
And it was just cool to see a new cast take over and do their own versions of the characters and things.
Yeah, you definitely have a good time watching it. This movie was the first one we watched in 2024, and it was great. And hopefully that this streak of good movies of this year continues. So, yeah. So thank you for watching.
Get in, loser.